270,000 people are underwater on their mortgage, but are they really? Or is this just a clickbait article? What does underwater even mean? Stay tuned while our team dissects this article to find out what's really going on.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are the Hatch Homes Group, and it is our weekly Monday housing market update. And yeah, so a client sent us this article. It has some scary words in it, like fallout, underwater, equity risk. Now, before we dive in, you guys, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear this underwater on their mortgage?
If you say underwater on your mortgage, I'm thinking that you haven't been making your mortgage payment, right? That you're delinquent on your mortgage. If you said like they're underwater on their house, I would think, oh, they owe, more than their house is worth. But what this article actually refers to a bunch is having less than 10% equity as being underwater. And it talks about VA buyers and FHA buyers specifically within the first 9 months of this year. So just so you know, an FHA buyer can put down 3% to buy a home, and a VA buyer, the veterans, they can put down 0. So to take someone and say within the last 9 months, they put 0 to 3% down and then expect them to have more than 10% equity, they're like, no duh. No duh, they don't have more than 10% equity.
No duh.
Especially in a time where it's not the last market where everything's going $50,000, $100,000 above asking price. It's going to be a slower appreciation. So again, no duh.
No duh.
Remember that unless you're making significant improvements and updates to a home, real estate's a long-term investment, and it's a great one. No matter what the market, it's not common to have positive equity immediately after you purchase. I think some people forgot that during the pandemic, where prices were rising so fast that people bought in 2020 had a ton of equity in a short amount of time. That's not normal.
That's not normal. And then I think another scare tactic in this article is when they say that the early payment defaults are up 150%. And early payment default is defined as 2 missed payments within 6 months of when you purchased it. Basically, within the first 6 months, you defaulted. But they are comparing this number to the years 2013 to 2018, which was such an opposite market and economy than we are in right now. Like 2013 to 2018, we were climbing, and right now we're leveling off. So it almost seems like they intentionally compared that time to this time so they can come up with this huge number to scare people. So it's super misleading and something that you really want to look in. Like, we don't need to put a lot of stake into, but certainly something we need to keep an eye on is for sure.
Yeah. And, we're not trying to say that some of these things aren't concerns completely. We're just, trying to say that look at how they're breaking down look at how they're using these stats to make it more of an alarming article. And with that, some of these things with being underwater, one of the things we really want to be looking at is unemployment rates, right? Because you could be underwater on your mortgage, but unless you have to sell, it's not an issue. Really, it's not an issue. But if you have to sell it and you are underwater, that is an issue. What would make you have to sell it is if you lost your job. Right now, if you look, we're actually still pretty low on unemployment. So we're if we're under 4%, we're still pretty strong there. But we are hearing so many economists, so much of the industry talking about layoffs, right? Layoffs. So that is a huge thing that we're going to be watching in the next few months to see how that would affect, people being forced to sell. They can't afford their payment. So that's a trend that could be for sure a concern if we start climbing with a higher unemployment levels.
Yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye on those. But remember that most people have a lot of equity in their houses if they've owned it for more than 5 years. So the chances of the foreclosure rates going over the moon, if you will, that's very unlikely in this market that we're going into.
Bottom line, are some trends here to like keep an eye on and watch. But if you see some type of article and you want us to dissect it or break it down, drop it in the comments below, send it to us in a direct message, or email it to us at yourteam@hatchhomes.com. Until then, like, subscribe, and share it with some friends or family.
And don't forget to not let these headlines scare you.